Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another episode. This is a little bit of a side trip. We're at Angletech, which is a recumbent shop that sells recumbent bikes and trikes and all sorts of recumbent products, but they specialize in adaptive vehicles. And we just went on a ride at the Garden of the Gods. It was amazing. I was overhearing these two talking about a program that I have heard a lot about, but I was curious to learn more about. So first...
Hi, I'm Carolyn, living in Colorado Springs.
Okay.
And I'm David, also in Colorado Springs.
Very cool, very cool.
So I'm riding an AZUB, a TiFly 20.
Good choice. You?
Not an AZUB. I'm riding a HP Velotech Scorpion.
Also a good choice. I rode an HP Scorpion all across Asia. These vehicles are actually pretty expensive. They're top-end performance recumbent vehicles. Let's scoot a little closer. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Now we're all friends. Good. And you know, a lot of people have been using a program that I've heard that helps people, certain types of people, acquire these recumbent trikes, right? And so I heard you talking about it. You tell me a little bit about the program and how you used it and how it helped you.
Yeah, so for me, it was through the Veterans Affairs Hospital in Denver. And what they have is a recreational therapy program, which helps us, with disabilities, kind of explore and still stay engaged in sports. So it's an adaptive sports program, but also adaptive equipment. And I didn't hear about it. All of a sudden, I've been in the VA system for a long time. And all of a sudden they said, hey, you might qualify for rec therapy. Let's give you a referral. And it was the best thing ever because it enabled me to kind of get out into adaptive sports and really be able to do stuff that I haven't been able to do in a long time. Okay. But it's really helpful, physical, mental health. It's a huge benefit, and it just enabled me to kind of be engaged and be able to participate like this.
Same thing, basically. So in 2003, I had an armor penetrating RPG go through my Bradley. It took my leg off with it. Yeah, spent the next 18 years passively trying to die. I put on over 110 pounds from Army weight. I was almost 300 at the start of 2021. And I was looking for a wheelchair to take my dog hiking, this weird off-road kind of mechanical advantage wheelchair, and put in a consult through my doctor. Said, hey, can I get this thing? And they came back and said, this isn't wheelchairs, this is rec therapy. And I said, what is rec therapy? And they're like, well, we're going to put you a referral. And so that's how I met Jesse, who is the recreation therapist out of the Denver VA. I used to weigh 300 pounds. I'm not that anymore. Found that adaptive sports was a thing. I'd been an amputee for 18 years and never plugged into any of these programs. And all of a sudden, through the VA, just had all these doors open. The first one was biking. Jesse sent me here to Angletech and said, go talk to Kelvin, go talk to Josiah, and see what they can do for you, see what they can put you on. And they put me on the shop's Scorpion. Like you said, it's not a cheap bike, and they just let me take this thing out and drive it around the street and come in whenever I wanted. Just go play. It was the fastest I had moved under my own power in 18 years, and I was immediately hooked.
Your adaptive solution was they removed one pedal, and so you have the ability to clip in, and then you're pushing and pulling at the same time. Is there any other adaptive tech that's in your trike specifically?
No, mine's just the power. Like I said, I clip in so that I can pull the pedal to complete the cycle. Mm-hmm. But other than that, we just do it with the one leg, and the e-assist makes up the difference when we're climbing. Yeah,
for me, there's quite a few adaptive pieces of equipment that were super helpful. And again, the guys at Angletech here in Calvin really opened my eyes to all the adaptations. I just thought, it's just recumbent. Well, there's so much more to it, especially my AZUB. The first thing I have is a dream seat. It gives me more cushioning for my spine. It also is on a riser, so it's not as low as traditional recumbents. And then I have a suspension to help absorb impact, again, for my spine. I have adaptive equipment for my wrists and grip because I don't have a lot of grip strength or wrists and arthritis and injuries there. So I have push button shifting capabilities. I have a grip rest and a wrist rest and then a neck rest.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then the neck rest. So basically support for my body where I need it. And then the motor is amazing. And also, my rec therapist happens to be Jessie, like Dave mentioned. She is amazing. I mean, she really takes care of us. She cares about us and opened my doors as well. And without her, who knows where life would be. But having the adaptive equipment is a huge boost, and it really kind of gives you that confidence to go out and do stuff again that you just couldn't do before.
You were surprised to find this program.
Yes. It was kind of an accidental thing. I think it was one of my providers that said, hey, this might be a program that might fit for you, that might be a good adaptive equipment. Talk to them and see what they have.
So what your recommendation to other people who might be in your similar situation who don't know? Like, it's get in touch with your rec therapist. Or what would be something?
Tell your primary, or tell anyone in your care chain that you want a rec therapy consult. Because I got there through my primary, again, through an accidental looking for a wheelchair. You can definitely get there through mental health. Like, it does not matter. And recreation therapy covers not just physical stuff. They also have art departments and social and collaborative, like we did here, like group rides, things like this that are more about building community, about the social interaction piece, even more than the physical. Their mandate is very broad. Like, the bike was the first thing Jesse bought me. We also bought a sit ski this year that was almost as expensive as the bike. We've bought a paddle adapter for my rowing machine. Like, they can keep buying equipment as long as it's necessary for you to participate in the sport. I've had really good care through the VA for 20 plus years. And rec therapy is the best department in the VA because it's not medication, it's not treating symptoms, it's trying to help you become a more whole and complete person, to get you to
live
engage
a life.
and live. Yeah, it's about getting you back out and back connected and living instead of just, again, symptom treating.
Existing. Instead of just existing.
Instead of just existing.
Yeah. You talked about how, like, you were surprised to find the program. You've been in the program for quite some time now.
4 years now, yeah.
Did you find that there were a lot of people coming to the program that didn't know about it, that were, like, surprised about it? I'm just curious about that.
So at the time I was coming in, a bunch, very few physically disabled that I was working with initially. A lot of the guys. There's it's a homelessness rehab center in Denver. It's called Bower Point. It's a place that veterans can go to live while they get back on their feet, and they get training in finances and taking care of themselves. So they have a rec therapy department in there, and that's who I did a lot of my early program participation with, the biking and the paddle sports and things like that. So they all knew because it was part of the curriculum for them.
Yeah.
And everybody that I know that's a veteran knows that rec therapy exists because I keep pushing them to call and make these contacts.
Spread the news.
Because this is, again,
such an amazing
positive impact in my own life. Like, I can't imagine people not having.
And you have your trike fairly recently, right?
Yeah,
you just got it. It has that new trike smell.
It does, and it's got that cool color too.
Yeah, cool color. It's beautiful.
But the rec therapy is really what got me there. But I think we do need to emphasize, because we didn't know the program was out there, and again, I kind of stumbled into it too, based on a referral that just happened to come across after several years in the VA. So it is super helpful for physical, mental health. But the biggest thing I think we need to emphasize is, you don't just show up and go, I want a trike. There is a process because, these bikes aren't cheap. And obviously they're supposed to be used, and they don't want to, make sure that, you're actually using them or using your adaptive equipment.
Yeah.
So there's a process. So you get your referral, and then, one of the rec therapists will evaluate you and talk to you, and then see what your goals are and see what it is that they can do for you. And it's a great relationship to work with them. And then you go through a significant detailed eval with an occupational therapist and a physical therapist. And they truly do a whole eval on what they think your limitations are, what your capabilities are, and then they make a recommendation. And then the rec therapist again kind of goes through the process of trying to get an approval for all those things. So, it's not quick. It's not
a
easy.
freebie.
It's not a freebie. No.
It's not like giving away free stuff,
exactly.
Right?
So, you do have to qualify because again, it's expensive equipment. But when you qualify, or if you qualify, it is a life changer to have just that capability. Like I said, I feel like a kid again being on the bike, and it's like that's been a while to have that freedom that I don't have when I'm not riding the bike. My mobility is impaired, so having that bike has really made a huge difference. Well, other VAs are different, so I have to also say I've heard from other folks, maybe in Wounded Warrior Project, that every VA has a slightly different process.
Is it a different VA for every, like, Marines and Army and Navy, or is it the VA locally meaning?
It's regional. So Rocky Mountain Regional is in Denver. So we're, an hour and change, but relatively close. Like my buddy down in Texas, his regional VA is San Antonio. So they're the ones who handle his purchase. Your camera's coming off. So like Doug is working with his San Antonio VA and has told me that I need to send my rec therapist down there to give a class on how to do their job.
Okay.
Because again, like all props to the Rocky Mountain Regional gals. They are amazing and they literally are this is one of the best places in the country for adaptive sport in general. Like there's so many different nonprofits in and around Colorado for that, but our VA is just very good at being proactive and navigating the system on our behalf.
If you're willing to share, let's just get to the nuts and bolts of it. Like how much contribution did the VA make to the purchase of your trike, and how did that? Are you willing to share that?
So for me, I mean, they managed everything from start to finish.
Okay.
So I don't know.
You don't even know.
I bought extra things like
It's a lot.
I'm sure.
I know
I'm sure
that trike. It's a lot.
But I bought the shoes. I bought the helmet. I bought those kinds of things.
But they covered the entire cost of the trike. Oh boy.
Yeah.
You got yourself
a
really nice trike.
But
I'm not saying that from like, ooh, that's a big freebie. I'm saying that like VA chipped in a lot for you to have a better life.
Yeah.
Really, and just by saying the number, it gives you just an idea. I mean,
so for me, I went and looked up the number. Same process. I had to buy my sandal. That's my clip-in. I had to buy my helmet, and I think I bought the bag that my crutch sits in, and I had to pay for the paint job because I wanted not the.
It's a beautiful paint job.
I did not want the like default safety orange, not my color. So I got this like metallic two-tone blue purple. It's amazing. So I kicked in for the actual bike. I kicked in $250 for the paint on I want to say it was $13,900 bike.
Okay.
And that was, again, like I didn't have to pick the color. I could have just had the orange. The shoe was mine. The helmet was mine.
So these are
these are very expensive bikes. And again, the entire bike was covered minus the $200 for the paint.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, I will leave links to the program. A lot of people might not know about this that could really use it. And like when I heard you guys talking about it, I was like, I really need. This is very impromptu. She's on the tallest chair. I'm on the shortest chair, and he's on the oldest chair. And we're just
I'm the one with helmet hair.
We all have helmet head. Yeah. But anyways, check it out, and we'll catch you in the next episode. But thanks for talking to me.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, cool. Bye. No, that's awesome.